Welcome to the podcast, where we teach you how to create marketing that pops. Get ready for refreshing conversations with industry experts, trendsetters, and creative minds that'll leave you bubbling with inspiration. Get ready to turn up the volume on your business. Let's get poppin'. So welcome back to Marketing That Pops. I'm Olivia. And
I'm Michelle.
and I'm Zack.
Hey,
and I'm with Buddy.
Yes. Thanks for joining us, Zack. I am so interested for you to tell us a little bit about Buddy. So why don't you kind of just hop in and to tell us a little bit about yourself. And then if you want to get into Buddy a little bit, that'd be great too.
Yeah. I think best place to start is just kind of our backstory, which is my friend and Drew and I. So I'm the COO of Buddy, and then my friend Drew, he's the CEO. We also have our CTO, Jimmy. But I've known Drew since high school, since we were like 16. Mm-hmm. And we started in a band. That's how I met him, actually. My bass player, who we don't play with anymore, he's the one who introduced the two of us. And so we played in a band, and then we went off to college, played in another band together called The Pacific. We're just gigging around Sacramento. Really wanted to make it into something, but just a side project. And then during COVID, I got a call from him, and we ended up moving into an apartment together, and in Midtown, Sacramento. And from there, when I was out in school in Monterey, I went to CSUMB, and we had a friend that developed video games. His name's Isaac. He's actually one of the co-founders of Buddy. And we developed a video game during COVID. It was like our COVID project. We spent 2 years on it. And that game was called The Lost and the Wicked. And, we're just a small indie team. And there's, I think, now like 10,000 games being released a year on Steam, on PC. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty saturated market. So how do we market ourselves? Mm-hmm. And my stepdad at the time worked off Elder Creek Road at a place called North Country Farms, which is a cultivation center, big property. And they did indoor and outdoor flowers. So we spoke with them and we're like, let's try to make a strain of weed to match the sensibilities of the video game. Like, you smoke the weed, play the game. Mm-hmm. And so since the game was called Lost and the Wicked, the strain was called a Wicked Indica.
Okay.
And Wicked Weed, and we put a free copy of the game inside every box, and ended up doing really well. They ended up doing like 3 harvests. It was one of their best sellers. So we met a higher up kind of Red Bull worker in San Francisco, and he told us that it was a great idea and that we should run with it. So we made Buddy, and Buddy originally started out as cannabis gummies. Mm-hmm. We made gummies, and our whole idea was to partner with creators. Musicians, comedians, game studios, and just create flavors and dosages with, the sub-cannabinoids that kind of captures the experience. So it's like wine pairing, mm-hmm. right? And we ran with that, and we got, in the first 3 or 4 months, we got in like 22, 24 stores throughout Northern California a little bit, and that was great. So that was the start of Buddy. Mm-hmm. And then we did a bunch of demos, and through these in-person experiences, we talked to, honestly, probably 50, 60 dispensaries up in Northern California. And the consensus was that Weedmaps was a little expensive, and then the consensus from the consumers was clearly seeing that they didn't know as much as they should for what they're consuming.
Right.
Because cannabis is very complex. Mm-hmm. You have 700 plus compounds, you have 1,000 plus strains, and cannabinoids, terpenes, flavonoids, and a lot of people just say, is this an indica or sativa? Right. And let that define what you're consuming. Mm-hmm. So mm-hmm. we saw a lot of problems in the space, and then we'll get into the whole marketing side, because that's a pain in the butt too, which I think
yeah, we know that
we're definitely going to be tackling, so which is good. So we made Buddy the cannabis app. And the app started out as more of a social platform, just a place for people to post their experiences, post reviews. And now it is essentially Instagram meets Weedmaps, and mixed with a little bit of Jointly. We got you can match products to yourself.
Right.
So we want to just give people an authentic place to follow brands, follow dispensaries, mingle with them on a deeper level, and then also be able to learn about the brands, see the products on the platform, and buy them on the platform and pick them up nearby. That way we get them the best experience. So
I love it.
And that's us. Yeah. Been doing that for about a year now with the app and 2 years with Buddy.
That's awesome. I love that COVID kind of just brought all the creative juices out of everybody. And we're like, if you weren't like finding something to do, it's like, were you even doing it? Like, were you even experiencing COVID like that? So that's awesome. So thank you for giving us kind of like a little taste of Buddy, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But I want to start us off with like a little myth, as you know. And you kind of touched on it a little bit already, so that's good. So you'll have a lot to say to it. So the myth is cannabis is too complicated to navigate digitally. There's a lot of noise out there when it comes to like strains and terpenes. What's your take on making cannabis easier for like an average consumer?
Yeah. Well, I actually said this in one of our, it is very complex, as I said. I said this in one of our posts on Instagram, which is, when people ask about indica or sativa, which I think has always been the push, indica is a body high, sativa is a mind high, but there's not really any more of those. It's like 10% of indica and sativa products are not pure indica sativa. So you're going to have a dominant always, because the more and more generations of flower you make, you kind of lose that purity of the flower. So I think the best way to learn is to, take the time, just kind of like you want, if you go to get a beer at a bar, you kind of learn about the subtleties. An IPA is going to be a little stronger. It's hazy. It's a little more hoppy. I think if people take the time to learn about the terpenes specifically, there's 4 main ones. I can't name off the top of my head. Limonene, myrcene, and limonene is going to be a little more lemony, piney. Literally sounds like that in the name. So I think you just take the time to learn the terpenes. That will open you up to a lot more of like what you're going to ingest and what you're trying to find your experience on. So.
Yeah, it is really confusing if if you're not a grower and you're just trying to figure out exactly, because even though people say, indica or sativa, it's like what we've been told by many other growers is, well, everything has both of them in it. So it's not like, you can just really pick one or the other. It's like, it really just depends on all the other things happening in it.
Yeah. And I think definitely recommendation is start small. Start with Pure Beauty pre-roll. They do, I think, like 4 or 7%. Start with a low dosage edible if you're going to take edibles, because those are a commitment. It's like 6 hours.
Yeah, we know about that.
Don't buy the syrups right out the gate, and because you might drop too much into your drink, right? Yeah. And I think it's best to start small, because you have a bad experience at the first time, you're probably not going to touch it for 2 and 3 months, and there's a lot of health benefits to cannabis. So it's better to learn soft early and then go into the
right.
So I know that there's a lot of, tech kind of coming into the cannabis industry. How do you feel like Buddy is like differentiating itself in the community?
Yeah. I would say all the tech, you got Buddhist, very sommelier. I love what they're doing. It's Jocelyn, right? Or that's her name.
I think so, yeah.
She's been doing a great job. I love their whole platform, and they have like their cannabis judges, and they're really trying to educate and really point out the specific products. Weedmaps, obviously you got Leafly, you got Jointly, Jane. They're all very B2B, like very brand to dispensary, and then dispensary to consumer. But what separates Buddy is we're consumer to brand, consumer to dispensary, brand to dispensary. So we're very like the small fries, the people that are going to always be there, and the people that are always going to be the ones innovating the industry by their responses to the products. And the products that they create, we're trying to give people a social environment. And I think that's our big differentiator. And I've talked to just this week alone, I've talked to brands that they're on their 8th Instagram account. And so,
oh, we know.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe you've experienced it, but they get banned. And so Buddy is a place that you're not going to be restricted. You can share anything you want. And we want to mix that with education and then have direct to sale. Like you can buy it, pick it up, or deliver to your house with dispensaries near you. So,
yeah. I know it's like kind of set it to be like a in-app bud tender, which is really cool because I know that even with like the bud tenders in the store, like sometimes they don't even have all the knowledge. And I know you kind of mentioned this to me offline that they kind of like coincide. It's like an assistant for like the bud tender and also for you yourselves as the user. What like customer like reviews or like have people been able to find new products just within using the app that maybe they wouldn't have known about?
Yeah, so that kind of falls into our knowledge machine. That's what we call it. It's
I like that.
Our AI it's the AI we created, the knowledge machine. Yeah, we love that name as soon as it kind of clicked. And basically, you can ask it anything. You can say, "Is there a product that makes me better at playing sports?" And it'll say, "Well, there's some things that'll get you more energetic, maybe more focused, but It'll spit out like 5 different products and show you a percentage match." And that's based on, and kind of to answer your question, when you make an account, there's something called your cannabis identity. And it's a set of parameters that we created, like what dosage do you take on a daily basis, how frequently do you consume, what kind of strains do you like, what's your favorite form of consumption. And then our last question is, why do you consume cannabis? Very philosophical question. And you can just write a little prompt there, and then the whole app becomes customized to you. So we have a product database. It's always growing. I think we have about over 2,000 products on there now. And when you scroll through, you see a percentage match. It'll say 90%, 95, 80%. That's why I said we're a little bit of jointly, because Jointly does something similar. And then the cool thing about Buddy, though, is when you click on the products, you can click on the percentage and ask it, why is this an 80% match? And what that will tell you is the knowledge machine will break down based on your parameters and compare it to that product. And then if you click on something that's a low percent, the knowledge machine then recommends you products that are a higher match to you and tells you where you can get them. So I think in that regard, it has introduced consumers to new products. But an app is ever evolving, and we've talked to some of our power users over the past few weeks, and some of them said they didn't even know they can buy product on the platform. So we're always fixing it. We're making that more noticeable. Instead of product, it has to shop, and people are much more knowing of it. But people love the app. People do. We've had a lot of people that are like using it on a daily basis.
I know you said something about like doing exclusive like buddy drops with like dispensaries and brands. How does that work, and like what kind of value does that bring to the brands, do you feel?
Yes. So we've been working on this for the past 3 or 4 months, and we're finally ready to release it. It's ready to go, and we are working with our first 4 or 5 brands very soon. We've been talking with them, and essentially what Drops does is it's all about FOMO. It's all about exclusivity. A company called Supreme, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard of, they started with this a lot. They used to sell their shirts at a normal price, and then you can go to an Urban Outfitters, and it's only available for this week. and you can only get that shirt for this week. And now they're, selling their shirts at a premium price, and they're over $1 billion company. So Buddy's taken that concept, and we're not literally like doing product drops. We are a place for people to host. So brands, because right now drops are used as Excel spreadsheets in dispensaries, and so it's kind of, I guess, archaic,
Yeah.
So Buddy is giving you a place to, as a brand, you can search, just type in any dispensary, click invite, and then you say, okay, hey, I want to go to Two Rivers or the Sanctuary in Sacramento, and I want to say, from this day to this day, we want to release this brand new product and only make it available there. And what that does is it doesn't, because this goes into the oversaturation and how marketing's tough, is put your product on the shelf, and it's a lot of, I hope people walk to my space, and I hope people notice. And that requires a lot of physical marketing. It requires a lot of digital marketing. You have to do a lot of discounts and promos. And I think that's kind of part of what leads things to like this whole race to the bottom on pricing. It makes it really tough to survive. So we really want to give brands a unique kind of guerrilla marketing tactic, and also a way to grow their user base on the platform. So, yeah.
No, I like.
And then once you invite the dispensary and they accept, that product becomes visible to all the users on the platform to pre-order. And that's the way it works. So it takes the risk away from the dispensary by allowing them to not commit to a purchase, hoping that the product will sell. And it also gives the brand, it kind of puts them in their court to bring people onto Buddy in that dispensary pre-order. And then after the timer ends, the dispensary sees, okay, 95 people pre-ordered this product. We're going to place an order for 95 products.
This episode is brought to you by 420 Intel, the go-to source for cannabis industry news and insights. If your brand belongs in front of cannabis professionals, this is where to be. And right now, 420 Intel is offering 50% off your first ad when you book 6 months of advertising. Reach the right audience, boost visibility, and make your message count. Visit 420intel.com to grab the deal and get your brand in front of the cannabis industry's most engaged readers.
Okay. No, I think that's interesting because, we have dispensaries that we work with in a lot of different markets. And like one particular is like in New Mexico, and Seed Junkie's huge over there. So sometimes it's like trying to figure out like, how do we let people know that we have like these exclusive products that, just this dispensary is going to have, that is not necessarily just on Weedmaps, but it's kind of like what you're saying, like how do we get the interest and get buy-in before everything else?
Yeah. Are you just in California right now, or are you expanding into other legal states?
Yeah, so the app is available all over the U.S. on the social side.
Okay.
As long as you're 21 and up, very clear about that. So we're available across the U.S., but only California right now can you actually purchase and sell. We have a POS integration. We have a partner for the POS, so any dispensaries that are using trees, we can join on with, and we can fully integrate their entire menu so that everyone, the cool thing is even though you can only purchase in California, if you integrate your database onto Buddy, you become discoverable with all the users throughout the U.S.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good way just to learn about what products are going on in this state, kind of write reviews, and get to talk to the people themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Getting into the little bit of marketing, so how do you feel like you guys have been able to just market yourselves in this space, just because it's so hard? Like you mentioned, people's Instagrams being taken down and everything like that. So how are you guys able to market Buddy yourselves?
Yeah, we've tried, I would just say try everything. We have done SEO. I know with AI, SEO is changing a bit, but we're getting some good traction on the website. And that's kind of I kind of write blog articles. I go on Medium and I type up my own articles and release every once in a while. Our product database is connected to the website, so if if you have everything on an app, it doesn't translate to SEO. So if you're trying to get more discoverability that way, I recommend making a website as well that links everything, because you get more external web links and different pages on your website. And then Instagram is actually something we've used a lot. We do very minimal per day. We do maybe just so-and-so dollars per day on ads, and we switch them around on ones we think are going to be giving people the best idea of who we are. And that's been about it.
Okay.
And now we have, we released in July, and now we got about 5,000 users.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Steady.
How are
And
you?
we're ramping up, hopefully.
How do you feel about kind of like doing traditional marketing, like actually going into the dispensaries and like doing like promo like that? Have you guys done any of that? Just to like
Yes.
like demos and things. And what's the response been? Just because I know a lot of dispensaries have listened to the podcast, and they do a lot of pop-ups with different brands, so to say. So how's that experience been for you?
Yeah, we have our demo table. We do demos wherever we can. We did a bunch for the product. We've done quite a few for the app as well. And I would just say, you mentioned earlier, like the knowledge machine is kind of like a bud tender. I think that bud tenders are very knowledgeable in the stores. And I think what I find when I talk to the consumers, it's when they're in the store, it's like, I'm already here. I want to go buy my product. And they have their bud tender, and the bud tender knows what they like, right? So Buddy is just adding to that. We're making it so someone walks into a new dispensary, or maybe they want to try something new. Their app shows the bud tender like what they're trying now, and lets the bud tender kind of cater to that person on a more personal level. But yeah, going into stores, people are responsive. It's usually like, okay, next time I'll order delivery or pickup.
Yeah. I mean, that's a nice service. You don't even have to leave your house. People love that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So regarding like your blogs, are you talking more about in general, like, are you talking about your product? Are you talking about cannabis in general? Like, what does your content strategy look like?
Yeah. I focus on the short tail and long tail keywords. Probably our most successful article was when I saw someone post on Buddy about making Everclear or making tinctures with Everclear, which is like you put flour into a jar. It's kind of like moonshine, right? And then you just let it sit for a while. And that one's been getting a lot of response. But no, it's more just educational things like recipes of how to make different products, or I'll do a special on this terpene, a special on this terpene, or this product, like top 10 drinks. I mention like different dispensaries in different areas that I am fascinated by. So it's more of a personal, like, oh, this is what I'm interested in talking about. And then I kind of incorporate Buddy into some of them and showing like how Buddy can better this, or make you more aware of this product or so. Yeah.
Awesome.
As the
So it's kind of a hobby, but yeah.
as the cannabis space is just kind of ever expanding and also over saturating, where do you kind of see, like, what are your hopes for like the cannabis industry?
I just hope that tax rates get reduced. I know that they're talking about, I forget what it's called, but I know they're talking about raising it up another 4%. I think dispensaries are hemorrhaging, and it's not their fault. I think they're just put in a really sticky situation. I know that, so I want to see them just kind of get back on top, being able to price in a healthy way, make sure that the products they're getting are properly tested, which I think they're making great efforts in that. They're ramping up the advanced testing labs, so that should definitely cure it. And then the hemp industry doesn't make it as easy. I think that there's a lot of success in the hemp industry, but it's if you look at all the paperwork that it takes to sell a brand and have a dispensary put a product on shelves, it's like this big stack of papers they have to go through and approve and go through metric. And then if you look at hemp products, it's like one page, and walk into a liquor mart and you can open the fridge and see a 100
very true.
milligram Coke can that has THC in it. So both gets you something, but I think that with Texas and Florida now cracking down, I know that Texas just kind of banned hemp, and Florida is now making it so hemp needs to be tested in labs. I think that's a good step, because I think the hemp, the fact that hemp can sell it across the U.S. Does make it a little tricky and hard to keep track of. That's all I'll say about that. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So if brands are listening to this podcast, how could they get involved? Is there any opportunities that you would like that they can get plugged into with you right now?
Yeah, for sure. Anyone, it's free. Just make an account, make a social account. And Buddy right now is not looking to charge brands necessarily for this. We just want to show that this community aspect, it'll take a few more people to join and start creating content to really bring it to life. And I think what they'll find is that the people that follow you are the people within the stores you sell at. And it's going to be a great way for you to express yourself. Tell your story. I think that's a big problem. Brands can't fully engage and tell their story and share who they are without to blend in with all the big companies.
Yes. And
so, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Olivia. To download your app, then people can just go to the App Store and download that. And is it just called Buddy, or what
it's
exactly?
Called Buddy the Cannabis app. Buddy : the Cannabis app. Yeah. Or if you go on our website, buddybrand.us, we have a download now button, but just make sure you do it on your phone so you can actually download it. We don't have a desktop version.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
And if you're in Sacramento or the Bay Area, we have 3 dispensary partners right now that you can actually purchase for pickup or delivery. Abboton, Barbary Coast, and Grassroots.
Awesome. I have 2 final questions for you. One you've already answered, but that's okay. So the first one is, what advice would you give to someone kind of like developing in the tech product industry, like in the cannabis industry? What advice would you give?
Yeah, in the tech industry, my advice would be UI. I think getting you move a button a little bit over, move a button a little bit this way makes a world of a difference. Making it clear, assuming everyone that goes on that platform has never used a platform before. Make it as obvious as possible. And it's going to be a daily thing. Also, if you're looking for investment, your pitch deck, that is an art form. You want to be changing that thing every few days. It's always evolving. Even if someone says it's great, another person is going to say it sucks. And then for the cannabis side, I would say, white label's a great route if you want to start a company, like as a brand. I think there's a lot of companies that make great quality gummies, pre-rolls, flour. So it's really expensive to jumpstart. If you want to get a license, and you have to have a facility, and that makes it a huge investment. So if you want to kind of tread the waters a bit, see what the reaction is with your concept, start with white label. Reach out to a company like Anana. They make great gummies. My Green Market is a company. And there's all sorts of white labels out. It started like 4 or 5 years ago is when they really started diving into that.
Yeah, no, I think that's great advice. So my last question was going to be, where can people find you online? Which you did kind of say where people can find you on Buddy online. So, but if they wanted to follow more of your journey, where could people follow you?
Yeah, Buddy Brand app on Instagram. I guess at Buddy Brand app. That is a great place for posting every week, just to really engage with every level of the industry. You can follow us. We have a Discord, which we use every so often, and then follow us on LinkedIn. We're posting all the time, and that's going to be more kind of current news and feature updates.
Awesome. Well, thanks for hopping on, Zack. This has been really fun, kind of getting to know a little bit more about Buddy and you. Loved hearing your journey from music to the cannabis industry.
Yeah, just project oriented is what I would say. I love having multiple things at once. Makes me late to a lot of things, but I enjoy it.
No, that's fun. Awesome. Well, if you guys are interested, make sure that you hit the links below. We'll have everything listed for you, and you can get the information on Buddy. And also, we'll put the link down there for them to download the Buddy app.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And thank you, Thrive Pop. I really appreciate you kind of putting this together. Yeah. And this has been a great experience. So thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. I know I had downloaded the app and was checking it out, and so it's kind of cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, we will check you guys on the next episode. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening with us today. Stay tuned for the latest in web marketing and design from ThrivePop. Want to be a pop star? Head over to thrivepop.com/podcast to join our mailing list for episode notifications, sneak peeks, listener feedback, and more.